Hello everyone, the next topic we are going to start is exception handling. Now, first, basically, what is an exception? Exceptions are the runtime anomalies or unusual conditions that a program may encounter while executing. Now, when exception could occur when there is a poor logic you have written, or for example, division by zero. You know this thing that division by zero is not possible. So while executing the program, what if the user enter and put as 0 in case of denominator? So that is not acceptable. So that is an exception in that case. Secondly, access to an array outside of its bound, running out of memory space. I'll take one more simple example. Marks of a student can never be negative. What if the user enters a negative input? Means you should stop user to enter the negative input. Means either it should display any kind of message that negative numbers cannot be there, something like that. So what is that? A negative number is basically a exception. So in C++ we have a mechanism known as exception handling, which is going to handle all these kinds of exceptions that are actually occurring at runtime. Next is your types of exceptions. Basically we have two type of exceptions. One is your synchronous and another one is your asynchronous. Now what are your synchronous exceptions? These are the type of exceptions for which error handling could be written, that is they are actually under the control of the program. Errors such as out of range, stack overflow, means which can be handled by the user. Second one, for which the code can be written. Second is your asynchronous exceptions. Basically these are the exceptions which are beyond the control of the program. For example, any kind of hardware issue is there, keyboard interrupts, disk failure, or hardware malfunctioning are your asynchronous exceptions. Now let's begin with the exception handling mechanism. Basically, what is the first step you have to deal is you have to find the problem, means in which code actually exception can arise. So that is what is known as hit the exception. Now once the exception has been raised, now through that exception means inform that error has been occurred. How it is informed? By throwing an exception. Then receive the information. Now there is a catch block to receive the information. After that, take corrective actions, means handle the exception. Now C++ provides the following specialized keywords for this purpose: try, catch, throw. Now try block represents a block of code that can throw a exception, means the code where I think that exception can be there, I'll place that code in try block. Now if now it happens exception may be there or may not be there. So if exception occurs, that exception is caught by the catch block, represent a block of code that is executed when a particular exception is thrown. Last is your throw keyword. Throw used to throw an exception. Also it is used to list the exception that a function throws but does not handle. Which block is going to handle? Your catch block. Exception handling mechanism, again types of blocks. One is your try block and one is your catch block. A block of statements which may generate exceptions. When exception is detected, it is thrown using a throw statement in the try block. Next is your catch block, defined by the keyword catch. Catches the exception thrown by the throw statement in the try block and handle it appropriately. Now your catch block that catches the exception must immediately follow the try block that throws the exception, means catch should be immediately written after the try block. Now the syntax of try catch: try keyword. Now here you are going to write the code in which you feel that there is a exception, means it can generate exception. Throw exception. Now this exception is catch by the catch block. Now exception can be of integer type, your float type, char type, or class type as well. Now the type of exception you are going to throw, this type must be matched with that. For example, you are going to throw integer type exception. Here you must have the data type as integer, and here you can have the argument, or if you don't want to specify the argument, it's your wish. Now coming to the first basic program for try catch throw. Now I have done a simple program. I have taken mother's age and I have taken son's age. Now you know mother's age cannot be less than the son's age, but while giving the input, anybody can enter mother's age less than the son's age. So obviously I need to handle these kinds of exceptions. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm going to check whether son's age is greater than mother's age. Now this is my condition. This is, I have written if son's age is greater than mother's age. What to do? Throw an exception. If, now in this case, what I have done, mother's age is 65, son's age is 34. It is correct. So what is the output will be both ages are perfect. Now I know this is the area where exception can be raised. Student may enter son's age greater than mother's age. So I have placed this code in try block. Okay. Now if user enter son's age greater than mother's age, what to do? Raise an exception. So what I have written here, throw exception. What type of exception it is? Integer. So what I have written here, integer. Okay, otherwise see out both ages are perfect. Now after try block, if you see, I have written a catch statement. Once exception is thrown from here, it will be caught by the catch block. I told you this M is optional. It's not mandatory whether you want to write or not. For example, to handle the exception, what I have written, I have displayed a message: son's age cannot be greater than mother's age, error number 404. Even if you don't want to display, you can write it like this. Now if I execute this program, see here what's the message is displayed, both ages are perfect. Now suppose here mother's age 6, son's age 34, not possible. 34 greater than this, throw 404. The control immediately shifts to the catch block. 404 coming here, son's age cannot be greater than mother's age. So what will be the message? Son's age can by error number 404. Now I told you catch block must be immediately written after try block. Now what I did is, I place a statement in between them. So if I execute this, see here, not allowed. You cannot write this thing. It is not allowed. One more thing that we have studied, if I am having here integer type exception, here it must be integer, and I told you M is not mandatory. So if I remove M from here, I write here see here, I remove M from here also. I execute. Nothing displayed. My program is working. Not mandatory. But if you see here, what type of error it is? Value it is, sorry, integer. I write here care. Type does not match us. If I execute, see here, runtime error. I hope the first basic program is clear to you regarding exception handling. The next program I am going to discuss one more is division of two numbers where denominator cannot be 0, means division by 0 not possible. See again what I have done, two inputs and third for the calculation of the result. Two values I have entered, a and b. Now again b cannot be 0, b is my denominator. So what I have done here is try block if b is equal to 0, throw b. Else what you do, c is equal to a plus b and print the value of c, closing my else block here, closing my try block here, and catch is immediately after that and writing the catch block for the same. If I execute this code, value is 2. If I again execute here, 5, 0, division by 0 not possible. Now a question may arise in your mind that I can do this thing with simply if else also. Yes, but your try catch is especially a mechanism that is designed for this task. Moreover, it increases the program readability. Means the moment I see the try block, I'll come to know that this is the area where there is a exception. So I hope these two programs for exception handling are clear to you. In the next lecture, I'll teach you different more programs related to your exception handling. Thank you.